Okay, well, good evening. We'd like to welcome you all to our Tuesday night, April 14th, 5 p.m. Select Board meeting. Tonight, we've got several topics on the agenda, but we're going to start with Larry, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay,
he is
we're going
part
to
of
start with an appointment with Larry Langford, from Buckland Finance Committee Chair, where she's going to be discussing the FY, and Paula too, yeah, Paula too.
it. I was gonna say, Paula Consolo.
Yeah, Consolo too, to discuss the FY 2027 budget. Larry,
Great, thank you.
you got that much? Make sure you hit the
Also, we should note that Clint is,
Oh, yes.
is joining us remotely
Yes,
this
Clint,
evening.
Clint Phillips, the chair, is joining us remotely from the airport.
Well, thank you. This is an opportunity to share some materials that we've prepared with the idea that the April 30th public forum would benefit from some structure. So we thought, let's put some things together for tonight that would be usable with amendments and things for that public forum. So as a result, you have a paper draft that's only going to the select board here because it's a memo that I don't think we necessarily need to distribute. But we also have a set of slides.
Well, that memo will be able to be
Yes,
distributed because it's
it will
shared
be.
tonight, so yes.
Of course it is. I didn't mean that, but I meant
Yes.
this draft. would
draft.
be-
Yes, it's a draft.
It'll
We'll
be
have it
updated.
updated for the
So,
meeting on the 30th, for sure.
And we have a deck of slides that are really the same content, only put in a more abbreviated form so that we can use multimedia. That's just a cheap reason to use a slideshow. Okay, so I thought what we'd do is just take you through this to give you an idea of the way we thought it would be structured for the public meeting. So, I think the first thing that we want to do is normalize our situation, which is to put it into the context of what is going on all over the state. People will have read the paper, they will have understood maybe some of it, but we want to emphasize that we have a statewide municipal fiscal crisis. It's really hurting the rural communities in Western Mass, but it's also affecting some of the larger cities as well. So the headline is that we've got in Buckland flat state aid, and I'm going to keep coming back to the role that the state is playing in this fiscal crisis. Local receipts are even down from last year. Revenues are going to increase slightly as a product of the 2.5 increase, as well as some other income. If that's correct, you can chime in anytime you want.
Certainly.
Save me from making a mistake.
The revenues aren't really tied to the 2.5, but the revenues, we have to estimate sort of our state, what the state's projected to give us, and also our local receipts, and that's sort of an estimate each year that we come up with. So, the 2.5, yes, we're gonna be able to raise property taxes by 2.5, so if you're
Right.
including that sort of in the overall picture, then
Yeah.
yes.
So those that are good with math will note that if the operating expenses are going up 9.5% and the revenues are only going up 3.5%, we have a math problem. And as a result, we have a deficit projected that we would like to address in one of two ways. The first way we could do it would dramatically cut the operating expenses to balance the budget as it's currently designed, and or seek an override, in this case a $500,000 override, that would cover the deficit as well as replenish the reserves that we have depleted over the past several years. And you may recall that 2 years ago we had an override, and we did it for exactly the amount of money that we needed. We were pushing strongly for, making sure the taxpayer didn't suffer adversely. In hindsight, I think that was a mistake. I think we should have gone for the larger number that some of the select board wished we had. And because it didn't help us to getting to this point with the kind of buffer that we should have had. And so we're saying, let's not make that mistake again.
Hadley. is doing that right now. I just heard them on the news. They were looking for an additional X amount of dollars so they can cover the beginning, or the next time, yeah, to prevent it. Same thing you're saying, so interesting.
Yeah.
But can I ask, why doesn't the state do more for us?
Oh,
What happened with that millionaire's tax? Where does that money go to?
how much time do we have, Joan?
Where's the millionaire's tax?
There's,
We got road money for that, right?
there's a whole lot of reasons
it's
why
like-
the state aid, UGA, unrestricted government general aid, has not gone up.
Uncertainty at the federal level is a
Okay.
huge part of it.
So there's a lot of reasons why Beacon Hill is not
Yeah.
doing that. So, taking these one at a time, we have had a chronic revenue problem. Ever since I've been on the finance committee, we've been saying, we have a revenue problem, it's not an expense problem, we have a revenue problem. We are not getting sufficient revenues into this community to cover the expenses that we have. We have a slideshow that is just run amok.
What did it just
I don't know
do?
what happened.
That just appeared.
Okay, okay.
That's weird.
So,
There you go.
this is a summary.
Okay.
So, minimum state funding, we have no income tax, which apparently people don't quite understand. Why don't you just use your we don't have an income tax, thank you very much. Our sales taxes are quite limited. Meals taxes and so forth, I'm waiting for the West End pub to.
That'll solve it, yeah.
And those are the problems.
And so as a result, we are about 90% dependent on
Yes,
property
we
taxes,
are.
period, which are limited to 2.5% growth each year. That is not a very good model for running the show. We could talk about that at more length.
It's been stuck at 2.5% for many, many, many years.
Right.
Not linked to inflation, not
Correct.
linked to anything, just 2.5%. When they created that, what year was that, do we know?
The 80s. It was
the
the
80s.
80s.
So maybe it was okay.
And we got through the
2.5% in
2010s
80s.
in a low inflation environment.
Right,
But once
right.
inflation kicks in, this doesn't work. And you add in then the runaway health insurance costs, the healthcare costs, the energy costs, and the strategic imperative of paying a competitive wage for the limited number of people that we have, that we want to retain, we have a problem. So that's the sum of the revenue problem. Expenses are divided into two fundamental parts, the general fund and the capital and debt expenses. The capital and debt expenses are quite low this year. They're down 11% from FY '26. And I don't know exactly why, but it's very convenient if we were in a
It's
cost-
because we didn't really allow anyone to propose a capital expense this year, because we knew we had no extra money to pay for it.
So we're gonna focus here on the general fund, which is really 95% of the expense budget. And that includes general operating expenses, which is everything in town hall and so forth, and what we spend on school assessments. So if you look at this graph, that gives you a picture of the relationship between the magnitude of the school expenses and the general fund. So that'll set the stage for a conversation about the general fund. Here's the composition of the general fund and the status for FY '27. We have general government. I'm gonna flip this over to Pam to help us get through this.
So basically, that's just most of our budget, the departments that are here in town hall, our insurance, our IT, our office supplies, our salaries for the people who work here. That's mainly, I mean, we can certainly break it down further if we
Right.
need to, but that's kind of the,
It's up slightly over FY '26, 4.6%. We have, in addition to that, we call it protections of persons and property. A lot of people call it the police.
and
but-
tree warden
and the
and
tree warden
and EMD and
dogs
those sorts of things.
So forth. That's up 8%.
Be careful not to
It
click
says
the X.
18% on your chart, so,
No, that's the
Right.
portion. These are the proportion. Those are not the growth numbers.
okay.
That's the
Okay,
percentage of
that's
the.
percentage
budget.
of it, yeah, thank you.
So that's up 8%, even though it wasn't supposed to be. the Highway Department, Public Works is up 4.7. Human Services, which includes the senior center, it includes
Veterans.
veterans and so forth, it's up 4.7%. And then finally, we have culture and recreation, which is up 6%, as well as the very expensive insurance issues that we've faced. That's a 21.6% increase over FY '26. So that is a composition notion, as well as you get an idea of where the increases were in this general expense budget. Questions on this?
Yeah, but it's 1980 is when Proposition 2.5 was passed. 1980. It was passed by voters.
Yes.
Well, you
And
can
it was a good
understand,
idea at
like,
the time.
Yeah, it is a good idea, it's just a matter of,
Preventing a runaway,
Yeah.
willy-nilly increase in property tax made a lot of sense. I remember when that passed. I'm old enough to remember that. So that, again, it's, in some sense, it's outlived its usefulness with respect to the current economic environment. Maybe things will come back around, I don't know, but it's not helpful. The second half, of the second shoe in this conversation is the school assessments, and that's a big part of our overall budget. And what, it's 57% of the general fund, and as you'll see, Mohawk is 90% of that 57%, which gives you the 51% that it represents of everything we do. So anytime they sneeze, we get a cold. It's that kind of relationship. So that's broken down in the following composition. Mohawk has two assessments. One's the operating assessment, and the other is the transportation expense. Given that it's a 250 square mile district running 100,000 miles of buses, a year, and we have one contractor for that, there's no wonder that that is up. The overall assessment is 9.9% up over FY '26. So that's a very big amount of money. In addition to that, we have the Smith-Volk assessment and transportation. We have one student with a $22,000 tuition and a $10,000 cab ride every day, which they may or may not choose to use, but we have to pay for it regardless. And then we have Franklin Tech operating assessment, which is up 9.3%, comparable to what Mohawk is up, $332,000, $955. So that's the composition of the school assessments. Now, what's important to understand about the money we spend on school assessments is the following, I think. They're 51% of the general fund. So, Willie Sutton said, was asked, why do you rob back? Said, well, that's where the money is. So if we were to look at any one item in this budget, it would be taking a good look at this, at Mohawk, only because it's 51% of the total. All the others pale by comparison. The thing to keep in mind that they are just as much a victim of the state funding as we are. And I really want to make sure that everyone understands they're not the bad guys in this game. Yes, they're big, and yes, they take up 51% of the thing, but they are being punished by the funding formulas, Chapter 70, which works against rural communities that are declining enrollment and high cost. And so they're having the same kind of conversation about the state as we are. This is a slide that was developed by I call them the R2D2, it's the D28T Star Wars. Simplified to show two things. One, the green line that goes up at an angle is what it costs every year, and that has been steadily increasing annually for 20 years anyway. The yellow line is what we get. That's the Chapter 70 funding. And if, as Paula points out, there's even a difference between what they say we should be spending and what they actually give us inside their own reimbursement model. The headline is that big red arrow on the right, That is what we have to pay annually in our property taxes to cover this gap between what they get from other sources, the state principally, and what we have to pay. So that's an important insight, as well as understanding that collectively, we have a problem with Beacon Hill. So underlying the revenue problem, it shows up both in the Chapter 70 funding formula as well as in the unrestricted government aid, et cetera, et cetera.
So those blue, they didn't put a line across, but the blue line or the blue
Yeah.
graph, that's what the state says they think we need
Yeah.
for the schools. So you can, but they're still underfunding, so they still haven't, even though they, that's gone up and down and then up again, they still haven't matched that
But if they
in
said,
their funding.
but if they said to match that, they're probably saying that should be made up by taxes right there. That's what they must be thinking.
I mean,
Which is
Our
ridiculous.
ability to pay is
Yeah.
not a consideration
Exactly.
in this conversation. And as I said earlier, before we started, there's one of the things that Franklin Tech does, for example, in calculating their apportionments, is they use an EQV component, factoring in their ability to pay as well as population. This doesn't do that.
No.
This is head count, strictly population-based. And that, according to my theory, maybe, is that right, Paul?
Well, not entirely.
Okay.
I mean, the foundation budget is based on ability to pay. It's just that it hasn't, they think that we don't need any more money because the number of students goes down. But they don't consider, we lost 5 students from this school site, just 5. Well, then you don't need money for those 5 students. But nothing changed in the school that we don't need money for those
Still have
5
a
students.
classroom,
You
still
still
have a
have a
teacher.
classroom, you still have a teacher, still have a principal, you still have a cafeteria, so there's a disconnect for sure.
So, in addition to paying the bill for the current school assessment, we're arguing that we need to protect ourselves and prepare ourselves for what we can anticipate are at least 3 likely fiscal issues that are right on the horizon. You know about them now. There are probably others that are unforeseen at the moment, but these 3 are ones that we need to prepare for. The first one has to do with the Mohawk assessment. They're at least gonna raise that by 5% next year, probably. And in addition, we're going to get a capital budget request that we did not get this year. So right away, we know 51% of our budget, gonna have a 5% increase. Do the math, that's gonna go straight to the bottom line in a negative way. The second wild card in the deck is Franklin Tech has proposed building, and this is the latest number from this week's recorder, a $236.6 million new building. And that's going to be subject to a funding vote by the school district in October. The citizens of all the 19-member towns will be voting on the same day, October 6th, at the same time. And the most number of yeses or noes wins the deal. If that were to pass, Buckland would be the 2.85% share that we have of the full cost with interest over 30 years. That would come to an annual cost of at least $250,000. And suffice it to say, we have no idea where that money would come from, because it's out of our stratosphere. So that's an issue. And we don't know how that's gonna go, but we need to get ready as prudent fiduciaries, if you will. We gotta think about that and try to start figuring out what to do. The third is an area that we've just learned about this spring. I meant to say, should that vote fail, they have projects in the wings that they chose not to fund in lieu of having this new building. That's about a $70 million renovation construction price tag broken into pieces. We've asked for the project plans for that and have yet to receive the plans or the budgets for those proposals. But that's likely to be coming at us in the event that
That's
that.
still a third of that number roughly, so you're still talking a
It's
third of,
still-
a third of 250,000.
It's still a lot of, still a lot of money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's just gonna
Exactly.
go on and on.
Yeah.
The third threat area that I'm calling it. Are you okay, Clint?
Yeah, I think he just might have
Oh, he
unmuted.
just-
We lost him.
Finally caught up with
He's
him.
been
just
supported.
DEP has got in their sights, they said there's something like 1,000 landfills in the Commonwealth that are all properly engineered and capped and so forth. But the DEP has begun a process of inspecting and testing for chemicals. And we've been given notice that we're on that list. And luckily, they deferred until we get organized to respond to it. But if the testing occurs, and it will occur, that's gonna cost maybe $50,000. If they find something in the groundwater that requires attention, it could be as much as $300,000. And if you've paid attention to this topic in other states, the people whose property was affected by this have very often filed suit against those people that put that landfill there in the first place. So we have no idea, really, what this wild card represents, but it's going to be probably a lot of money. And consequently, we are saying, not only do we need to pay the current bill, which we have, and cover that deficit condition that we have, but we've got to get ready for some things that are coming our way.
Oh, scary.
I don't mean to scare you, but this is the reality of this springtime that we've got. And God knows what else is going to happen as a result of the escalating costs in oil prices, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think there is a limit on how much they can sue a municipality in Massachusetts.
I hope so.
I believe there's a limit, so,
I
But how
hope so.
many are gonna?
Very
do it?
small for
yeah, how
ours.
many, you still have to pay for the lawyers.
Yeah.
Our
To
legal
fight
fees.
it, yeah.
Well, we're not putting the cart before the horse.
No,
I mean,
no,
DEP
yeah.
is feeling like we may be
may
okay,
be
but we
fine.
just, really what they're asking us to do at this point is to
Test
do more testing.
And the geofluvial experts, did you get that? Geofluvial.
Yes.
They're saying that maybe the composition of the well structures here that are fairly deep may preclude us from having surface level groundwater contamination affect them. So there's a lot of good things. We don't care, we're gonna put this on the radar.
Yeah.
We
Right.
we have to get ready for
I think the more things like this that are, especially when we talk to the public, our citizens and stuff, is that they need to know this too. And
Exactly.
if
And
they
we-
say the same, she said, that's scary, well, it is.
it. It's a
But-
scary world.
We
right?
just
it
received a
is.
letter from DEP that's one of the items I'll be sharing with you.
Yeah.
on our-
Thank you.
my Administrator report.
So, I've been thinking a lot about the value that town meeting brings that a lot of other forms of government don't have. We get to decide every year what kind of town we want to have. By voting on a budget, voting on priorities, voting on policies, you get to shape the nature of the community. And that's where we are this year. We get to decide what we want. And so in that light, we are looking at the proposal to have a $500,000 override on the table. And we have a budget built for that purpose that has that there. We are saying that if you do that, what that does, it doesn't do anything other than, as I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but this allows a question to be placed on the ballot in the general election as to whether the town as a whole, the electorate, would vote in favor of the override.
So the question has to go on the ballot. They're actually voting tonight to
Yes.
place that question on the ballot.
Okay,
The override, in order for it to be successful, the budget would have to be adopted at town meeting
Right.
and also pass at
At
the
the-
annual election.
correction, okay, so it's a two-step dance.
Right.
So,
You got two left feet, that's what's scary.
well, I know, I'm worried about that. The other thing that we just want to summarize is that if we if we did this, we get to cover the operating expenses, and importantly, we're going to put money into reserve funds, which we have emptied over the last 5 years. And what the important thing to note about that is, this is the taxpayers' money. This is not going into a piggy bank to be spent willy-nilly by the select board or anybody else. It's going into general stabilization, which probably takes, as I recall, a 2/3 vote of the town to allocate and expend. So this is the town money, and we're going to be putting it into stabilization for the reasons we just went through. And as we try to apply that to the use, that is going to require a vote of the town.
At a town meeting.
A town meeting, special town meeting.
I mean, it's really only 150,000 that goes into, right?
187, I think.
No, it was 187 if we did the
It goes into,
500,000.
yeah, the rest of it's already spent.
Yes.
So it's 187, that's not
Right.
chump change, I mean,
No,
that's.
That's something.
It helps, it helps.
Well, with what's on the horizon, which is why we came
So,
up with that.
again, this is taxpayer monies, and I want to make sure that the town, everyone in the town understands that we're not hiding money, or we're not putting it away somewhere under the mattress. It's going to be in the
I think
general.
if that comes up when you explain it, just explain that it's gonna take a special town meeting for us to spend, if you say it that way, I think they'll get it.
Exactly.
We scared them enough already just as far.
Only taxpayers decided at town
Yeah,
meeting.
there we go, yeah.
Anticipating your questions, sir. And again, if for some reason the vote is not to pass the override, then we're gonna make some significant cuts in the operating budget.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I think some people might ask, what about the money we got from selling the old police station? What happened to that?
That money legally can only be used for items that would require borrowing. So a large capital item, something that would require borrowing, we can't just tap into that for general expenses.
So, like if work had to be done at the landfill?
We
but-
could potentially
Conceivably-
ask for that.
conceivably
Okay,
could do
yes.
that.
Okay, just wanted to know.
Conceivably, we could do
But
that.
I think people would wanna ask, hey, we got that
No,
$300,000.
Exactly,
Smart,
exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And someone would say, well, what about all that other reserve money you have? Well, the answer is, you know, you don't just spend your inheritance in your savings account to pay the light bill. Maybe you do, but generally you don't do that. And we're trying to save as much money as we can for that rainy day that really is a rainy day. And so we have to address that. So that's, that's what that is gonna happen. The second shoe on that is that it's quite probable that if this doesn't pass, that we will be back here a year from now with a similar request, only with bigger numbers. Because this trend that we're on, this train that we're traveling on, is not gonna change. It's, if anything, with all of the kerfuffle that is going on globally, it will only get worse. And so we don't know what interest rates are going to do, we don't know what costs are going to do, but it doesn't look like it's gonna get a whole lot better. So, that's what's gonna happen, if we vote no. The other thing to, attend to is, in case you're wondering, where would you look for the money? Well, it's all up for grabs. We have
It
to
really
find-
is. That's that has been the
Yeah.
hardest part
Yeah.
for this whole year. Like, I think we've known that this day is coming. I think that coming last year with only $12,000 in excess, we knew this year we were coming in not a good position. And then to be hit with these increases that, again, I mean, I have looked over this budget. I mean, my family will tell you, I am spending my nights and my weekends trying to figure out where can we possibly find money to make this balance, to make this budget work, and it's just not there. And truly, it is the I think what makes our town a town are the things, and this like actually almost makes me want to cry. These are the things that we're going to be potentially on the chopping block,
Yeah.
and it's not to scare people, it's just our reality.
Yeah. And, you know, we haven't had the deep dive conversations yet about what would we do from a dollars and cents standpoint for any of these. And we're going to have to be very creative. Maybe there's shorter hours, maybe there's changes that we could make in the design of the models that we have. We haven't explored that yet. But we know that that would be the work ahead in very short order in order to get this new budget prepared for the end of the fiscal year, as I recall.
What's the date of the election?
June
Second,
2nd.
June 2nd, okay.
So that gives a very limited amount of time to prepare a draconian cut budget so that at a special town meeting before the end of the fiscal year, we could vote to balance the budget, which is an obligation we have. And what allows me to go to sleep is it's not my call. It's up to the voters to decide. And this whole idea is that we need to make sure everyone knows as much as they can know or want to know about the situation, about the context, about the content, and make an informed choice. Because this is their money, and our money. And this is why we have this form of government which is so rich and delights. So that's the plan. Now, we're having, I hope, an information meeting on the 30th,
Yeah.
at which we'll do a version of this and entertain questions from all the people that want to be there.
We should get the word out. That's
We
really
are.
important.
So this week, we're gonna be posting it on our website, we're going to have flyers, we're going to send it out on Code Red, basically to get the word out.
Yeah.
Do you
And-
need help doing a press release?
Sure.
Yes.
We would take that.
Thank you very much.
And certainly people who aren't able to, I had a woman come in today who was asking some questions and she's not able to come on the 30th and I welcomed her to, I'm happy to share what I know. You know, anything, any questions anyone has, they certainly can stop by, call me, whatever, and I can share the information that I have.
Pam,
Yes, Clint?
can we set up a Zoom portion for that meeting as well?
Yeah, we can do that.
For people that
Sure.
can't be present?
It's a
Yep.
great idea, Clint.
Yes,
Good idea.
we certainly can do that.
Laurie, what about making a narrated PowerPoint, a narrated version of this, which you could do so well, and that could be posted?
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody wanted to, you know, not too long, but going through it, whatever the deck would be, and that could be linked to from wherever, so people at their leisure could sort of expect videos on it. Think about that.
Sure.
Do we ought to bring up at this also, we're talking about, you know, an override as we want passed. Like, someone's gonna raise the question of what's it gonna cost me?
So in the material that you
Think we
have,
should, yeah.
in the text material you have, is a lot of content.
And we'll be sharing all of
Right.
that
A
as
lot
well
of
on
answers,
the
specific
website.
answers to those kinds of questions.
Okay?
The short version is a $500,000 override is gonna set a new tax base, new tax rate of about $18.27 per thousand, or about $520
That's what
to the
we
average
figured out,
house.
yeah, about 500, or 100 and something every quarter,
Yeah,
yeah,
$40 a quarter, or whatever.
whatever it
$40
is.
a month.
$125 a quarter.
Yeah, yeah.
$1.50 an hour.
And that's still gonna be hard for some, it's good,
Right.
that's
But
Still gonna be
absolutely,
hard.
gonna
I
hit
mean,
hard,
Because the override is that much, but, you know, your taxes go up too.
yeah,
So
So it's
exactly.
that plus
But,
the
yeah,
and
override.
they've been going up
Right.
2.5%
We owe them, they
every
need
year.
to know that, they need to hear that
Right.
clear too, that we're,
Right.
And
So what's the objective of that meeting? Is it to talk about the override, to talk about what our recommendations?
I think
or-
it's basically what Larry just presented here, that people understand this is how the budget was arrived at this year.
Right,
This
right,
is
right.
the reason why the finance committee and
Mhm.
potentially select board are making the recommendation for this budget.
Mhm.
And then answering any questions people have.
And practically
Right.
speaking, the idea is to get as much query and inquiry and dialogue before the town meeting so that we don't have a 6-hour town meeting devoted to everyone getting a chance to ask questions that could have been answered beforehand.
I mean, obviously, people can still show up
Of
and
course,
ask
yeah,
questions
right.
at town meeting,
Yes,
but,
right, as
Right.
much, as
But-
much as can be addressed beforehand would be great if we could.
And that question will come up that night, just what just the
Yeah.
question I just asked, and, I know it will, I'm already hearing it from. Sure.
no, I mean, there's really no good situation.
Exactly.
This year.
Exactly.
There really isn't. I mean, it's, yeah.
So does the select board have the same feeling about the school budget as the finance committee?
We haven't voted.
I don't know what you,
We haven't voted, we haven't
You
discussed
haven't
it.
voted yet,
Yeah.
okay, okay, okay,
I've got my questions on it, a lot of them.
right.
But yeah, I envision a friendly but informative meeting on the 30th,
Yes,
and I'll be reaching out for a quote from you, okay? For this press release.
okay. The thing that can't be lost is how acutely aware we are of the impact of this on a number of people in this town.
Exactly, exactly.
It is so painful. This one lies awake, often in tears, thinking about this.
I mean, I'm not trying to be overly dramatic,
no.
but as somebody who truly, like, I grew up here, I was born here. I drove into work this morning looking at every house that I passed thinking, sure, they're retired. This is going to be a huge impact on them. What happens if we have to close the transfer station? What happens to the trash? What happens to this? Like, my brain does not shut down trying to figure out some miracle solution to make all of this work. And I'm coming up empty and very much understand that this is not something that is going to sit well with people and,
Yeah, yeah.
but here we are.
And this is why it is such a difficult conversation. Because there's a percentage of the town for whom this will be very, very difficult. There's another percentage for whom it will not.
Yeah.
And there's folks in the middle. And we need to just figure out what is the right way to proceed here without tilting too far on one side or the other. And we just don't have any really good
I
answers.
just, what you did, that was honest and straightforward. I mean, there's not much else we can do because that's what it is. I mean, unless somebody wants to turn around and give us $1 million that they won in the scratch ticket, I don't see it happening.
Tonight,
Oh, okay.
but
But you know what I mean? I think that's it. That was well done, Larry. I mean, just straightforward. This is it. And the question will come up of what's it gonna be on my tax base and say, I know this is even hurting, but we say that, it's very important if we wanna maintain what we have. We have no industry. We have, I don't know what percentage of our money ever comes from any industry. We got maybe the dam.
Great River, we do
Yeah,
have industry in
yeah,
the
Great
hydro,
River,
in the
yeah.
hydro plants.
But nothing compared to even, like we said, with our sister across the bridge,
So on the account targets, we can't touch police services or the senior center?
we are under agreement. I don't know what our contractual agreement limits us to do with respect to those numbers.
I don't know either, that's
Which
why
is
I'm
a
asking.
board.
No, that's the
Board,
Shelburne Police
yeah.
Department, and they're submitting to us what we
We've
have.
signed a contract
We have a
with them
Yeah,
for,
Yeah, and so wastewater treatment, wherever we have a contractual agreement, I think we have to
We
take
have-
those off
yes,
the
we do.
table. At least in our thinking. I don't know, maybe there's a lawyer could help us with that.
I mean, that 9.9% raise in the school budget
Yeah,
is really, really painful.
it's very,
And I don't think I've ever voted against the school budget, but I will this year.
yeah. Well, you know,
Just because we don't have the money, and I go to all those meetings, they've done
You
a
do.
really good job, I don't fault them in the least, I really don't, but we just don't have the money. We just don't have it, so it seems like, and as I told Larry, to me, we cut $500,000 off of 3 million, because the schools is 3 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm asking is that they cut 500,000 off of 29 million.
yeah,
So, I mean, again, I don't fault them, I know it'll be painful for them too.
So as
But,
we
yeah.
explore this topic with the group, we want to make sure everyone understands that while we may vote against the school assessment, we may vote no, that doesn't mean it goes away.
oh, no,
That's it.
There's 7 other towns that are going to vote. And even if all 7 say no, then they're still going to come back with a reduced version of their budget, which we will be on the hook to pay. So this topic doesn't go away even though we say no, and it's gonna come back,
Which we
before.
should pay.
Yeah, of
I
course.
mean, 9.9% is too much, but is 6% too much? Probably not, you know what I mean, like, there's a number somewhere that is reasonable.
And the thing that I think about a lot is the sustainability of small rural towns like ours. And the dilemma of trying to attract a replacement cohort for guys my age. I'm 81 years old. I mean, who's gonna come into this town with their young family, with their children, to get, to enjoy this the way we have? And that means we need to have a place to live. It means that they need to have some vocation. It means they have to have a school that they love their children to go to. And it means that there's a cohort of like-minded citizens in the town that are gonna help them enjoy that. If we don't think strategically about that replacement issue, we're gonna make some choices that we might regret 10 years from now. I don't know. So we can't not do any of this stuff. We gotta do it all. Anyway, that's my soapbox.
Thank you for your hard work. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. And as we think about what we wanna do on the 30th, let us know and we can augment anything we did tonight or said tonight. We have more, that paper has a ton of detail in it.
Yeah.
And we could add that to the slideshow, but I don't want to glaze over people's eyes. I want them to.
I was thinking almost be too much if you put, oh, yeah.
Ideally, they would ask a question, and we have expert talent. who can answer.
Maybe a Reader's Digest version of what you just did, but I think, I think the information should come from the Finance Committee and then open it up quickly to questions and
Right.
comments.
Any other,
We should have the dates, like, we need people to vote the Franklin Tech project, we need people to go and vote. I mean, it's a general election. So we have so few voters in Buckland, you imagine, it's all these 18 towns, all those people voting. I mean, our percentage is so small.
Can I ask, how can they make all these towns vote on the same day?
I looked in the MGL.
Yeah.
There's a law that they are leaning on that allows for this approach. You could do the school board vote, representing the towns by representatives, or you could have this method of voting. It's very clever.
See, they told me, when I asked that question, they told me that it was in our regional agreement that they
That's
had to
probably-
do this.
Oh,
But I don't know if that's true, I didn't check the regional
But we're
agreement.
not gonna have the person leading this project isn't going to be in that position anymore after June 30th.
Right.
The one who's been pushing it.
I can't control everything, Joan.
I'm gonna hold it against you, Larry.
I don't know how, yeah, it'll be interesting,
I
because,
have
I
no
mean, for
idea.
Greenfield,
Yeah.
this vote is like, it's $2 million a
A
year.
year,
For
yes.
30 years. so-
2.7, that was what it was.
It's like, I don't know
2.7
where they're gonna
something
get
for
that.
30 years. I don't care how much bigger Greenfield is, that's a lot of money.
All I know is
They're
this
not a
train is on
wealthy
the
town.
track.
No, it's
It's headed our
not.
way.
What's that?
All I know is that this train is on a track,
Yeah.
and it's headed our way.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
We either gotta derail it, or do something. But
Something.
It's,
But we do have to pass this override just for our town to stay our town.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And hopefully with that little extra, if we get it, we can maybe not fall so bad next year. We're gonna fall anyways, but it's gotta change. Things are, they always talk to 10-year cycles of weather doing that, and it gets nicer and nicer, and then cold, and goes up where,
We haven't talked about raising Proposition 2.5, but just as we were meeting here, when you said 1980, I'm like, that has to change.
I think there's talk of people
Right.
expressing that as an
And
option.
it's just 1980.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anything else?
although I do appreciate you guys a lot. I tell Pam all the time, we got the greatest finance board. Seriously, you make our job easy, because I can't do all this.
You still there, Clint?
So, it's an incredible group you have.
I am.
Okay, just checking.
The secret is
You don't
surround
have any
yourself with
questions
talent.
for
The
Larry?
secret is to surround yourself with talent.
No,
We're losing
Yeah,
it.
you have done a wonderful job.
those guys have done a fantastic job, so, I know all the work that's gone into trying to put all of this together, and, ugly no matter which way you shake the stick at it.
Yeah.
You know, and I know how much my tax bill's gonna go up. And I'm dreading it, but I also have been right into the nitty gritty with all of this from day one, so, you know, it's needed, you know, like everybody said, to keep our community what it is.
Thank you, Clint.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Done?
Good, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got more appointments?
Nope, no more appointments, moving on to regular business now. Bye.
That was a lot to absorb, but well worth it. It's, boy. These things have happened before too. You know what I mean? They've happened before. I can't tell you what years in Buckland, but I mean in other places they happen. You gotta face them and hopefully you come out of it all right. Gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Okay, so let's see, now that we're with that appointment there, I guess our next first agenda item would be our annual town meeting warrant. Is that correct?
Correct. So it's, in your folder, so this is basically the document that gets posted in advance of town meeting. It doesn't have any, it's basically just the articles, there's no dollars or anything in it. It's just has to get posted at least 7 days in advance, so we're trying to get that squared away, tonight.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What's the consent calendar to be determined?
So the consent calendar, every time we have town meetings, the moderator usually puts together certain articles that are just the kind of boilerplate everyday, you know, the elected salaries for elected officials, for example. She puts those together in one article. She groups them together. It's called the
well-
consent calendar.
Okay, because we have salaries of elected officials.
Right, but this isn't showing the consent calendar yet. This is just saying, Article 1 is the ability to create this consent calendar at town meeting, which
Okay.
quite often will be like 6 or 7 articles all in one. We voted as
Oh,
one.
I
Yes,
see what
item.
you mean. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
right. To make it, things speed along.
Right.
Yep,
Right. We had about 6 or 7 of them last
Yep.
year, yes.
yep.
Hey, Pam,
Yes.
is there any chance you could email me a copy of the warrant, just so I can follow along with it?
I think I did. I think wasn't it attached to your, yep, I can do that.
No, never mind, I got it.
Okay.
It was in the Zoom link you sent me.
Okay,
So usually it's like town reports, this stuff is boilerplate.
right.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right, it's all coming back.
Yep. Yep, so this year, so the annual town meeting warrant is strictly the budget. We don't have any bylaw changes this year, we don't have any citizen petitions this year, petition articles, no additional, items other than those focused on the budget.
Okay. Very, very boilerplate.
Yes. Clint, do you have any questions as you're looking through it?
Nothing that I've come up with yet.
And it's actually, you'll notice on your motion, Larry, it's actually only 7 days for the annual town meeting, so you can change that from 14 to 7 on your motion. Special town meeting is 14, but annual is only 7 days in advance, so.
Well, it says,
Oh, did I fix yours?
tell me, bylaws,
Oh,
7
okay.
days. So
All right, I fixed
Good
yours,
job.
but not mine.
And you,
That was very efficient.
you fix, yeah.
Yeah, we're
fix-
fine,
you
we're
fixed-
good.
Okay,
Good job.
cool.
So was it 14 before, or is
Well,
that
a
just-
special town
That's
meeting is
special,
14.
okay, that's, yep.
And we're gonna post this well in advance anyway, so.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
oh, yeah. Yeah. How's Clint doing? Is he good?
You good, Clint? You ready for a motion, or,
I'm good to go.
okay?
Good to go? Okay. Then I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2026 annual town meeting warrant as written and ask that it be posted in accordance with the town bylaws 7 days in advance of May 5th, 2026.
I second that.
Any discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Clint?
Aye, aye.
Okay.
Aye, okay, good. Aye, aye.
Okay.
Okay, now, let's see, what's the second thing here we're on to? We have, 2026 town election vote to approve the addition of a ballot question asking the voters to approve an override of the levy limit for the purpose of funding school and municipal operations. So that's it.
So after hearing from your finance
Yes.
committee, the decision is, up to you. If the select board is interested in moving forward with, an override as recommended by the finance committee.
I like that. It's up to the voters to decide.
But the $500,000 amount, if that's what, after hearing from them, if that's what you're okay with, that would be up to you to put that motion forward so that that can get put on the ballot.
Clint all said I can put this forward if he's ready.
Clint, do you have
Make sure he's
anything you
hearing
wanna say
himself.
about that?
Nope, you're doing a fine job.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the addition of a ballot question asking the voters to approve an override of the levy limit for the purpose of funding school and municipal operations in excess of our Proposition 2.5 increase allowance. The amount of the override request to be no more than $500,000 and is pending town meeting approval of the FY 27 budget article request. Did you hear that?
Clint, we're hearing your background noise.
All right, I'll second that. Okay.
Yeah, you're good. Joan just seconded.
I second it. It'll be easy if I just.
Roll call, Larry. Voting.
Yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Clint,
Aye.
yes.
All
Okay.
approved, okay,
All
thank
right.
you. I could hear the noise here, I didn't know if he was
Yep.
heading out or,
All right, let's,
right here, right here. I'll give you this all after if you want, these are the motions that he had drawn up ahead of
Oh,
time.
okay.
Just so we'd have them ready.
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so just a few more seconds.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
And
I
it will
can't
be
write that
yours.
fast. Oh, yay.
Okay, so let's see where we are now on our third thing. Okay, vote on adding a compost dumpster at the transfer station.
So you may remember, we spoke about this, we had folks come in, was that 2 meetings ago?
Yep,
To ask about that. And Jan Amin was here from the Solid Waste District. Basically, the operating cost, or the cost of having this dumpster would be $2,040 a year. If we had it there, it would entitle us to $600 additional for our RDP funds, which would bring the cost down to $1,440. We could pay for this out of our RDP funds, which we receive about $7,500 a year. So the town would not be paying any money. We would only be using our RDP allotment to pay for that. So we had said we'd bring it back around after everyone had some time to think about it. So Jan had reached out to say, have they made a decision? So I've put it on the agenda for
I
tonight.
talked to, even our employees at the transfer station and some neighbors there, they're not in favor of it because the neighbors said, I'd be sitting there eating, it's gonna bring bears. It's gonna bring bears down, I don't care if it's got a bear proof at night, but all day long, and, the neighbors, the White House just of that, said that they're very much opposed to that, cause he said they are around, and then secondly, for most composting, I looked it up, you're putting a little bit on the homeowner, because now if you're cleaning your dinner plates off, you've gotta have one thing for meat and, bones are not allowed.
No, they are allowed.
Yes, bones are allowed.
Oh, are they
Meat and
bones
bones
are?
are allowed
Bones
in
and
this
meat allowed.
compost.
And meat is too now? Okay,
Correct.
then I read something different.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
So that doesn't change that.
no,
Okay, so I'm just thinking, like I say, that's the only few I heard from. I didn't hear from anyone else around there.
I think it's important to know too, is one of our other questions we had was the size of the dumpster.
Yeah.
And, it was going to have a bear-proof lid on it. So
Correct.
the only time it's gonna be open is during operational hours.
Right.
right,
So, and
It does help.
I think it's important for people to understand too, that this isn't the
RDP,
RTP funding that we're utilizing. There's only certain things that we can use this money for.
correct.
This just happens to be one of them. So, I personally, I think it's, we can give it a shot. And, if we do find that, bears are becoming a problem with it, it's something that we can always stop too.
With the smell over the summertime, we'll see on hot days.
Well, they're gonna take it weekly. That cost I gave you was for weekly
Weekly, yeah.
removal. So the garbage, whether it's in the dumpster or
That's
in
gotta
the,
help, no, that's gotta help a little bit, it does. It
Right,
just,
and it
so
will-
these are questions that only a few people answer
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
And we in Asheville are the only ones in our county that I believe
are
don't,
not participating in the
not
program.
participating in one. And I think, I haven't heard from other towns saying that bears are getting into theirs, so.
No.
But I think it's, if it becomes a problem, then we reconsider, but I think it's, having compost is a great idea, compostable.
Is there any problem with starting that before you know if the transfer station is gonna be a victim of budget cuts?
Yeah, that's a thought too.
It's a thought.
Well,
The only thing I can say is at this point, that won't cost the town anything, and if we have to
You
say
have to negate
we're
it.
not doing it, we're not doing it.
There's no,
Okay.
we'll be fine,
Right.
yes.
And as far as odors are concerned, there's always an odor at the transfer station, because whether it's being tossed into the compactor or put into this other dumpster, I think you're gonna never be able to avoid the smell. The only other thing that I see as a benefit of the compost is that's that much weight that we're not being charged for in our
Correct.
solid waste pickups, for the people who participate.
I sent you a place where you can buy all the garbage.
Oh,
cans.
yes, you did. So that's one other thing to see, and like Clint said, and Joan, you said too, we can try it. And if we find that
I
it's
don't
just
have a
a
problem, 'cause I said
horrible
only a
thing.
few people approached me that I
Yeah.
even asked
Yeah,
about.
yeah, no, and those are legitimate questions and
people
concerns.
In that area, and,
but they pitched it, they said it was bear-proof, and that's a big deal, so.
yeah. No, the two concerns
Do the
were,
bears come now to the dump, to the?
well, there's no fence behind our, there's a fence you can't get in, but the whole hill is all wide
Because of
open.
the
And
closed landfill.
according to the neighbor in the White House, the bears walk around, but they walk everywhere. They walk through my yard here. So that was just a question that would be tracked, and we'd have to wait and see.
We'll see.
And the smell, you're right, not one, they didn't even complain about that so much as, they weren't even complaining. I was talking to them and asking them how they felt about it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you reached out, that was good.
So, but they're the only ones that were close enough that I could think of, I
Yeah,
didn't know some
yeah.
of those people.
Yep.
So I don't have a problem with it either, so.
Okay.
Shall we make a is Clint comfortable, got, said what he wants?
Any other comments, questions, Clint?
No,
Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the placement of an additional dumpster at the Buckland Transfer Station to accept compostable materials.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Roll
Larry?
call, Larry. Yes.
Joan?
Yes.
Clint?
yes.
Okay, very good. We're moving along a little bit here. Next on our list of agenda items would be authorize additional payment to Treasurer Carol Leach for training devoted to new tax collector. Oh, for the new tax collector.
Yep.
Okay,
So, as you all know, we hired Quinn last summer. Quinn Cusimano is our new tax collector. Quinn came to us with no experience or background in tax collection. She's doing extremely well, coming up to speed.
girl,
But it's, Kara's having to provide some additional training. Also this winter, Quinn was out a few times due to some illness, and Kara sort of filled in to keep things moving forward in a timely manner, and has some additional hours for doing so, and has requested that, the select board consider paying her for that time, at a rate of $28 an hour, which is less than her treasurer's rate that she's making now.
So this will be additional above that, or, yeah, that one
And the
time.
total?
The total will be $4,305.
And so, did she make it aware that this was accumulating?
I knew that she's been helping Quinn here and there. She just provided me with sort of the breakdown of hours,
Yeah,
last week before, just in the interest of getting it out there before the end of the fiscal year, so.
we can handle it right now.
Yeah, I mean, we can, because Quinn also didn't work her full hours for the year.
But we're also appreciative of how much she's
Right,
helping.
and I'm gonna, Kara's, when I spoke with her after this, sort of indicated that at this point, I think Quinn should hopefully be, there may be a couple things here and there that may come up, but that she really needs to talk to me first
Yep.
before we agree to any additional
Or she
training
reached
time.
out to Kara and asked for help, or? is
No,
it-
no, there's a couple areas that, as you go through the year, similar to anything, new things come up that it's her first exposure to.
Right.
So as those things come up, Kara has been willing to help out, and teach Quinn, different aspects of the job.
Complicated job,
Yeah.
yeah.
She's doing good.
Yeah, no, she's doing great.
Okay, then I'll make a motion on that, if it's possible. I make a motion to approve paying Carol Leach $28 an hour for the purpose of training and support to the tax collector. Any future training hours must be approved by the town administrator.
Ahead of time.
Yeah, good, let's put that in ahead of time, okay? Or prior to the training, yeah, whichever, yeah.
I'll second that.
Clint, do you have anything to say?
Okay, but moved and seconded, all in favor?
We'll do Larry, roll
Roll call
call.
again, sorry. Yes,
Joan,
Yes,
Clint.
Yes.
okay, it's approved, thank you. Okay, we're moving along here. Let's see, next we have documents to sign, minutes and warrants, minutes of March 24th, 2026. And vendor warrants, W 2621, and payroll warrant WP 2621. So we'll sign those after.
I think you
You
have
gotta
to
make a motion to
accept them.
to
I
sign.
Okay.
think that Alicia sends them so way ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, I do too, that's good. Yeah, I can make a motion that we accept the minutes and warrants, March 24th, 2026, and the vendor warrants, W 2621 and WP 2621.
Second that?
Now, just roll call, or just,
Yep. Do you have anything, Clint, to add, or questions, or comments? Nope, okay, so Larry,
yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Clint.
Yes.
Okay.
Here we go.
Now we have permits and licenses. Okay, so we've got Peter there. Permits and licenses, we have, one from Hilltown Baseball Opening Day Parade, May 3rd, 2026. Nonprofit, they wanna parade 10 a.m., start at 52 State Street, the Eagles, to the end of Conway Street Cricket Field, opening day for youth baseball, and that's on 5/3. Okay, and it looks like it was approved by the police and everything else, so we need to make a motion on that too. Okay, we make a motion that we accept the parade permit for the Little League Baseball or Hilltown Baseball on 5/3/26.
I second that.
Roll call. Any discussion, Clint? Any questions, comments?
Usually the permits are only signed by the chair, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it
So
says that.
I will just modify that for the, to have the vice chair sign that permit.
Okay,
All right, all those in favor, Larry,
aye,
Joan,
Aye.
Clint?
Aye.
okay. Okay, now let's see, that we're down to a letter of support to Massachusetts legislatures regarding non-payment penalties for motor vehicle excise
So
tax.
we will probably be bringing that back to your next meeting, only because there was a little bit, the way the letter is written, it refers to, it should say non-renewal instead of suspended, I believe. Is that correct, Clint? Is that how the letter was worded?
I believe it came up and said that it was a suspension, but it actually doesn't suspend the license. It sends a license to a non-renewable status.
So just to sort of bring everyone up to speed, in Massachusetts, if someone does not pay their excise tax or parking tickets, there's a process where the registry will mark their registration or their driver's license, and they can't renew it until they pay their excise tax or outstanding parking tickets. This actually helps ensure that the town is able to collect these fees, these bills. This, this is one of our bigger local receipts is excise tax. And if the state has proposed doing away with that in favor of another system of sort of working with people to make these payments. And they've proposed taking away this this process of marking and non-renewals. And so this letter is basically asking the state legislators to not support that new method because it will really take away the town's teeth when it comes to collecting these outstanding taxes.
Dave, have we seen this proposal letter that they're putting together?
Kara actually provided that letter, so I'm not sure where she got it from.
No, not
Oh.
the letter not the letter of support.
You're talking about the legislation, the proposed legislation? I have not, but I think it's referenced in the letter, so we can certainly find that.
Okay.
Should we wait on it?
Yeah, I think you're gonna need to wait, because the letter needs to have a
Okay, I think we
correction
need
made
to wait
to
then.
it
Okay,
anyway.
we'll
Yep,
hold
you
it off
can
to the
pass
next
over
meeting.
that for the next, till the
Okay.
next
Okay.
meeting.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay, items not reasonably anticipated by the chair 48 hours in advance of the meeting. Ask Clint if he has any items.
Got anything?
I have nothing.
Okay.
And then we'll see. Select board member concerns?
I'll be attending via Zoom, the FERCog Council. Doesn't look like anything like staggering, but.
Okay.
But I'll be there, There'll be like regular updates and stuff like that.
Okay.
Town
sounds good.
administrator's report?
Okay, so tomorrow, Thursday, this Thursday at 7 o'clock, Mass DOT is holding a design public hearing here at the town hall to review the reconstruction and bicycle accommodations on Route 112, and that's from North Street up to the Buckland Rec. This proposed project would be happening a year from now, basically, and this is funding, the town is not paying for any of this. This is a state project. So that is happening. If anyone's interested in attending, that will be Thursday here at 7 o'clock. There's information on our website about it, and I believe it's also posted on the bulletin board. Late last week, we were notified that we've been designated as a 2026 rural and small town housing choice community. It was actually on 22 News last night. They didn't mention Buckland. It was Gill that was there. But we were also recognized with this designation. I worked with FERCog several months ago to submit all of the requirements to become designated as such. Included our ADA self-evaluation and transition plan. I had to send copies of our zoning bylaws that encourage housing. It's basically going to make us eligible to be considered for funding from another grant program, which is the Housing Choice Grant Program, which is through the Community One Stop for Growth. It's also going to provide eligibility for benefits and special consideration to 9 other state programs. It is now my job to figure out what all these state programs are and how any of our potential projects may fit in with that in
sure
our
lucky.
future endeavors. Yes. But it seems like it was, kind of a big honor for a small
sure.
town like Buckland to receive.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you
Yes.
for doing all that work.
As alluded to earlier by our finance committee, I did receive the official letter from Mass DEP that was confirming that the last 2 samples that we had taken in our groundwater monitoring wells had PFAS concentrations greater than 20 nanograms per liter or parts per trillion. Again, this is not an uncommon situation for closed landfills. It's quite common, but this is something that DEP has just recently started to mandate testing for. So they're asking that we do additional testing this summer. We did meet with them to explain the fact that we just do not have the resources financially to move forward right now to do this. So they agreed to allow us to put it on our town meeting warrant for this next fiscal year. Our testing company, these tests are not inexpensive at all. We're looking at a minimum of somewhere in the $45,000 to $50,000 range, and if the tests come back in a way that require additional remediation, we could be looking upwards of $300,000, $350,000 in remediation. So it is definitely an unknown variable. Speaking with the DEP reps, we had a big Zoom meeting. Clint was actually on it with me. They're sort of feeling optimistic that typically it doesn't necessarily bode that it's going to be terrible news, but of course we're always planning for the worst case scenario. Yesterday, Larry and I attended a meeting at the Shelburne Police Department. A working group there has been putting together a plan for vulnerable populations in Buckland and Shelburne. Basically, it's going to be a voluntary program for seniors who are 60 and older in Buckland and Shelburne, and they would choose, this isn't just an optional thing, it's not a requirement, but they would provide information that could be used for emergency responders should we have a weather emergency or an extended power outage, or if that individual was having a medical emergency. And it's stuff like, do you have a dog? Is your driveway accessible? Are there anything we need to know?
Or not.
How can we gain access to your property if you're not able to answer the door, for example? There's not going to be any cost to the town to implement this program, but they more just wanted to bring us into the loop to let us know that they're moving through the process. There's a group of individuals that have been meeting. I think they're actually meeting again tomorrow. It's police, it's fire, EMS, EMDs for both towns have been working together, and there was a whole PowerPoint presentation yesterday, basically putting it out there, and it seems like people are very excited about it, and it seems like it could be a really good way for, people who may be a more vulnerable population to have a good plan in place should there be an emergency.
Yeah, I think about going by houses, and years ago, the fire department gave you a sticker that there's kids or dogs or something in the house window, and
Right.
this is even much more. I thought of my mother. My mother's going to be 101 next month, and they better come inside and put her in or something because I can't get her out of the house.
Right.
And then we're even talking about furthering it with lock boxes. I'll bring that up. Lockbox. If people want to have those on their house, they'll put a lockbox with one of your house keys in it. It will be coded. The homeowner will not know the code, but the reason is they don't want the homeowner to open it because one day he or she forgot their key and do it and put it on the counter inside.
Oh, right.
They want it there for there's emergencies so they don't have to break your door down, smash your windows.
And Clint can weigh in on that because they're modeling this after a
thank
program
you.
in Hatfield.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Right, Clint? Is this correct?
Yes, so Tucker actually came and sat in with me, and I went through our entire program with him. We've been running this program in Hatfield for about 4.5 to 5 years now. And I've actually, up until these past few months, I put in every box that was around town. And we currently have over 100 boxes around town. It's a great program. We utilize it constantly, because, you know, people lock their doors.
Right.
So, you know, which is a good thing. You know, we encourage people to do that. But, you know, when it's 2:00 in the morning and you've fallen trying to get out of bed and can't get to the door, but you have your phone, this is giving us access. You know, police are coming in one way or the other.
Yeah, and as Tucker said, this is not for the police to just come in your house anytime they want.
Correct.
This is really, it's really controlled,
So
don't worry.
Still, yeah, there's still, you know, there's still exigency circumstances,
Yeah.
that the police or the fire department or EMS, would have to follow. But like I said, it's a very good program. For the police side of it, it's very good for us because we're all running laptops. So when they actually start a call for us, it pops up and it tells us that there's a lockbox on that location. It tells us where it is. It gives us what the combination is. So even if it is, you know, 11 o'clock at night, we know exactly where we got to go to find the box, what the code is to get into it, and it, you know, it's very quick and easy access. You know, the fire and EMS, they're usually, most of those aren't running that sort of technology in their trucks. So what they would do is they have them call into the dispatch center, because these are codes that they don't even give them out over the air. You know, the only way you're getting access to it is to either call in or have it pop up on our computers.
How big are these
So-
boxes, Clint?
They're just
They're
like
just
little,
they're just like the normal key boxes that you
Oh.
can buy.
like with the little combination.
Yeah, so they're probably, I don't know, 6 inches tall, or 5 or 6 inches tall by like 3 inches wide.
Made out of metal and hard to get in, so, but
They're kind of, aren't they similar to like what realtors will use on a
Yeah,
house,
These
kind
ones,
of?
the only difference to these ones here is they're not, like the realtors use the ones that you can just
On
hang
the
off your
doorknob, right, these are
These
attached.
ones- Yeah, these ones here, you know, a couple of screws and it mounts to the side of the house. You know, one of the questions I've gotten from a lot of people was the main question of, well, can somebody break into it and, you know, and get the key out? And what I pretty much tell people is, if they're gonna go through the hassle of breaking into this box, I tried to break into one of them because one of my codes malfunctioned, and, you know, without doing any damage to the house, it took me 20 minutes to actually get into it. But, you know, it's
control your kid.
but what I tell people is, you know, they're not gonna, if they're willing to smash this box open to get the key, they're just gonna break a window and go in.
Right.
Yeah, right, it'd be
You
easier,
know,
yeah.
so if somebody wants into your house, they're getting into your house. There's no ifs, ands, or buts behind it. You know, locks are to keep the honest people honest.
Yep.
So, you know, this key is just to, you know, allow us access in an emergency situation, and they do get used. So we've gone from having to kick probably half a dozen doors a year to be able to gain access to somebody to one maybe every other year now.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Tucker seemed quite excited about it, and he did a nice presentation to let you know, and,
Of course he did, because it was my presentation.
oh, excuse me!
The truth comes out.
Yeah, I'll talk to Tucker about that. Okay, Clint,
So
thank you.
that's all I've got for my town
Thank you.
administrator's
Okay,
report.
public comment.
Oh, yes, I do. Do you want me to go to the microphone?
Sure.
Please go to the microphone so Clint can also hear you too.
Yeah,
so,
I'll turn
yeah.
Clint,
And the
I'll turn
folks at
Clint
home can hear
around,
you.
so.
And the folks at home.
Because
yeah.
Marilyn Kelsey's here, Clint, she's moving to the mic, so you understand who you're hearing from.
Okay. Okay, so Lenny Kelsey, Buckland.
You can turn that if you
Turn-
want,
turn-
so you
turn
don't
it
have to
right to
turn
you.
your
Yeah,
head.
there you go.
There you go.
Okay, okey dokes. The, I'm not optimistic about the upcoming budget. Back in 2007, there was an override. Stephen Rocks, I think, was still part of the select board. It was my first introduction to what even an override was, because I had lived in California for 40 years. So local politics is a whole different bear, I guess. But why I'm not optimistic is during that 2007, several towns held out. I think Shelburne did, Buckland did. And I love Coleraine, but they were the turncoats. So at some point, Coleraine folded. It was really kind of an interesting night because Buckland was meeting up at the auditorium at the high school, also going to take another vote. And I believe Bonacani at that side. We just got a call from Coleraine and they have approved it, and so then it was over with. So one town doesn't control it at all. So I'm not optimistic, and why I'm not optimistic is I was one of the seniors in Buckland who really spoke very candidly about not supporting the money for a new senior center here in Shelburne Falls. And it went on deaf ears with other seniors who were already property owners, and they were probably looking at the same struggle of increased taxes as I do. But no matter how I said it, it fell on deaf ears. So that was my other experience, that somehow the reality of not being able to afford it doesn't exist. So I'm not optimistic. And the only other thing is I'm here tonight because Pam is just absolutely fabulous. She has tried to figure out, yeah, hey. She has tried to figure out how to get our Channel 7 to work. I'm here tonight because for the last couple of weeks, mostly I'm not getting voice, sometimes not a picture. I'm kind of an invalid on any day of the week. I don't know when it's going to happen. So staying home is always sometimes unexpected for me. So I actually rely on having some kind of local information just as a diversion from the chatter that's out in the world. And so I don't think it can be fixed either because Comcast has really, I spent hours on the phone with Comcast. They said it is the Channel 7 group. Pam has looked into it. So I guess, Pam, what is your update? What do you think?
So, and this is also, Otis and Don Wheeler have been working on, they'll reset my understanding is they have to continually reset the router. There may be issues on the Comcast side as well, but they do, I think it works sporadically when they reset that router. So I don't know, is it not working tonight?
It wasn't this afternoon, and
Okay.
then I realized what time it was, and I thought, well,
Okay.
I'll just come down here
All right.
and see what's
I know
up.
they're waiting on a new server, I believe, as part of the situation. I don't have any additional information other than when you tell me it's not working, I send an email off. Someone comes down here physically, restarts the router, and then it's working, but I don't know how long it stays working for.
Right.
So,
And one of the things, they have
Those
no
were
way
roll
of
call votes, by the
monitoring
way,
how many people really tap into it. Well, I like to tap into the exercise in the morning that is streamed maybe around 9 o'clock, and that hasn't been an opportunity either. So I'm at the point where they either fix it or just walk away from it and don't sign the contract for next year.
yeah, it's not an annual contract
It's
either.
not?
No,
Okay.
it's set for several years. I couldn't tell you without looking when the next contract will be coming up, but
And they have a little funny clause in it, or on the 3rd or 4th page, that only the town administrator can contact them, and the public cannot. That's what I thought.
wow, such power.
Oh, don't tell her that.
But it really shuts us out, so we don't have anybody to go to
Yeah.
except you, and that's why you have that burden of communicating to them. I did like the idea I had, is that one of those individuals have a TV in their own home and check it now and then and see if the picture or the sound is coming through.
Yeah, I know they're trying, and when I do reach out to them, they're very responsive to, meaning the local Falls Cable crew comes right down and resets what they need to reset, and they'll put tickets in, I know, with Comcast, so I know they're communicating with Comcast if it's a Comcast issue, but beyond that, I don't have a level of understanding of all of the parts of how the cable works, so, But we're doing our best, hopefully, to try to
Yes,
keep
yes.
resetting the cable where
Well, I
we need
appreciate
to.
all your hard work. Thank you, everybody.
Sure.
Thank you for coming.
Okay. And now we've got nothing, announcements and upcoming meetings. Anything, Pam, you need to?
Well, I have on your notes there, of course, we have our next select board meeting is the 28th, but
Yeah.
also the forum, the April 30th forum
Right,
here that
right.
we talked about earlier
At
at
6:30.
6:30. Annual town meeting, May 5th, which is different. And then in the past, we've moved it back to an evening during the week. And that will be at 6:30.
Yes.
And then, annual town election is June 2nd. And then, of course, Thursday night this week is the Mass DOT, meeting here for their public hearing for the Route 112 project.
Very good. Well, and I think that covers it. Joan, anything else? You,
No,
okay.
Clint, anything else?
Clint, anything else?
Where'd he go? Oh, and I might have just hung up on him. Well, hopefully Clint's good.
That will mark the end right there of tonight, April 14th.
Oh, he's calling. Hold on.
Okay.
Sorry, I hung up on you. Are you good? You got nothing. Okay. So Larry is officially, I think, about to adjourn the meeting.
Tell them have a great trip and a good
Yes.
time.
Have a great trip, Clint. Thanks
Okay.
for being here tonight.
yes, thank
So
you.
that'll end tonight's select board meeting from Tuesday, April 14th, 2026.
Gotta make a motion.
I make a motion to end, I should say.
Oh, I second it.
Since you said, any further discussion?
No,
Okay,
Larry,
yeah.
I'm going to take a roll call.
Oh, go rail call, yes, end it, please.
Joan,
yes.
Clint.
Mercifully end it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
You
Good
too,
night, have a
Clint.
great trip.
All right, bye.
Bye.